Hey guys, Sierra here from Flora Fantastica, and today I wanted to talk to you about air plants. These are some pretty cool plants and fun to have, fun to give, but they can also be a little bit particular. So let's talk about what they need and how we can keep them alive. These plants are in the Bromeliad family, and they're all Tillandsia plants. There's many different types. So I'm going to show you kind of basic care on these plants and tell you a little bit about them. Mostly we'll go over watering because that's kind of the main thing you need to do with these guys. So there's a lot of different types of Tillandsia, and they look a lot different from one another. These plants come from Mexico, South America, Argentina, the Caribbean, southeastern United States. Some of them have big fat strappy leaves, some of them are thin, some of them have bulbous bottoms, and some are very hairy, like the Spanish moss. So all these plants are epiphytes. They're used to growing on a tree. They're not used to growing in soil. They don't have roots, so you don't really need to worry about soil, but you do need to worry about water. Water is one of the problematic parts of owning a Tillandsia. A lot of these plants, well, all of them, are designed to get water through their leaves. They have highly specialized leaves and little tiny hairs on them. Some of them are smoother than others, but on some of these plants you could feel it's almost like a fuzziness, and it's like tiny little hairs, and they collect the water and the nutrients. So you'll notice some of the air plants are going to be a little bit silvery looking. The more silvery the plant, this plant has its own special way of dealing with a lot of light and lack of water. The hairs on these plants are able to like block out the sun a little bit more and hold in more water. So I guess they're a little hardier. So now I'm going to show you how I water my Tillandsia. I try to keep all of my plants in one area. This makes it a little bit easier to keep track of them. If I have like some here and then some over there, I'm probably gonna forget about them and they're probably gonna suffer. So what I like to do is keep them all together. You know, here's an example of keeping a whole bunch together, and I can make a little scene. So for air plants, having them on a watering schedule I think is really important. These guys need to be watered at least once a week with a soak, and you're welcome to miss them, but they really need to be soaked in like a bucket of water once a week, minus the Xerographica. This one does not need it as often, so you could probably water this one maybe once every 2 weeks to soak it, and for not quite as long as the other ones. Spanish moss, you just throw that in there too and let it soak. So I'm going to show you how I soak mine right now. So about once a week I like to water my Tillandsia plants, especially the ones with the thinner leaves. So I will take them and I'll just dunk them into a little tub of water like this, leaving the bulb part, the root part out. And I will dunk the Xenographica as well, just not as often. That guy can go in there too. And make sure all the bulbs, all the bases stay out. And I'll even put the Spanish moss in there as well. It's getting really crowded. All right, so they're all kind of tucked in there. Let's get some more in there. Everybody's taking a bath. Everybody's taking a bath. All right, so everybody's in the bath, and I'm gonna leave these guys in here. All the small ones, I could leave them in here an hour. They can even go overnight. I wouldn't leave them any longer than overnight. So the Xerographica, I wouldn't put him in for more than about 15 minutes. And at this point right now, I would spray all of the backs of the plants because you want to make sure the whole plant gets wet, but you don't want to soak the base of the plant. All right, they're all in there doing their thing. At this point, maybe once a month, you could add a little bit of air plant food. I'll show you in another video how to make your own air plant food, super easy. This one was nicely given to me from the nursery that I go to, so I just use that one. And you can just spray that into the water. It's fine. I'll spray a little bit more, and yeah, there you go. So let's say they've all soaked, they're ready to come out. Really important that you let them dry completely before you hang them back up, especially if they're going to be up like this, because all that water is going to drip down into the base and it will rot your bottom. Your bottom will rot. So ideally they're in some place with a little bit of airflow, because that's going to help them dry. When they're up in the trees, when they're living up in the trees, they're going to get a lot more airflow. Down here on this table, not quite as much. So sometimes I'll put them near an open window, but you wouldn't want too much breeze because it could really dry them out. All right, there's all of our little guys. The Spanish moss, I would want to hang him. I can't really show you how to hang him right now, but it doesn't want to be bunched up. It wants to be hanging. And ideally, this one is living on a piece of a tree. So I'm gonna find like a really pretty stick, you know, hang it from here, and that's how it will live. For now, it's like this, which makes it easier to water. So I will dry this one hanging up like this. So in thinking about what these plants need, I think it's important to remember where they're from. They're typically from humid rainforests, and so they're gonna want warmer temperatures, they're gonna expect humidity, and they're going to expect to be misted, watered fairly often. So they also would be expecting some dappled sunlight, or at least bright sunlight coming through the canopy. So we try to recreate as best as we can in our homes the environment that it would like. If we do that, if we're lucky, then Tillandsia air plants will probably give us little pups or little babies, and maybe they'll flower for us as well. That's how we know that we've been, that they're happy and we've been giving them what they like. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked the video. Please, if you liked the video, push the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if you have an air plant and if you are struggling in some way, or if you've had success with other methods. Cool. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.